You're listening to the Derrick and Dave Show with Derrick Beeler and Dave Maggart.
On this segment of the Derrick and Dave radio show, we got John Bowman. How's it going, John?
Doing wonderful, Derrick. Appreciate you guys having me this morning.
We appreciate you coming on and being a part of what we're trying to do here and bringing these interviews to the folks that love this music.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Let's start out. Let me ask you, what's John Bowman got going on right now?
Well, it's kind of an exciting time for me, Derrick. I don't know if your listeners know, but the Dove Awards were just a few weeks ago, and the Dove Award is kind of like what a Grammy would be to any other type of genre music, and I was lucky, blessed enough this year to be nominated for my second Dove, and I didn't win, but you know, I was up against these no-name groups like Alabama and the Oak Ridge Boys. So
right.
I felt pretty good about that, and I've got a new release coming out November the 13th. It's called Beautiful Ashes, new CD. I've been anticipating that all year long. I got some really great material, and between that and just preaching the word, brother, just everywhere I can, that's what's going on in my world.
John, have you joined the Isaacs band now again?
No, sir. No, I am totally on my own. Last year, it was in June of last year, I left, of course, the Boxcars, a great bluegrass group that Ron Adams, Steffi, we were all part of that founding of that band, and I left in June to preach and sing on my own. So that's what I do now, is just preach the word everywhere I go and sing the word everywhere I go.
Well, that's great. I've been keeping up on you on Facebook as much as I can, and I was just wondering if you had gone on your own or if you had come back to the Isaacs band or what.
No, the Isaacs are just so busy. You know, I left the band back in 2006 to teach at a Christian school over in East Tennessee around La Follette, and I did that for 5 years, and we decided to move out here to Nashville. It's going to be better for the Isaacs and for what I was doing as well, and so we moved out here in 2012, and I only fill in when they need me to, if somebody's sick or something like that. So I don't play with the band very often. Matter of fact, maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah, I'm good friends with Joe Isaacs. And I met one of Joe's sons up there at Red Lick when Joe was having a festival up there. Has Ben got a brother?
He's a half brother. Yes, his half brother. His name is Joe as well. And
Joe,
he lives up around Lebanon, Ohio.
Well, he looks a lot like Ben.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they look got a great resemblance there.
Yeah, that's right.
What all, John? What all bands have you been in, Bluegrass and Gospel?
Well, I started in, I guess, the first professional band, so to speak, you'd say, started with a group out of Bristol called Appalachian Trail. Played fiddle with them for a couple of years, and then that's when I met Doyle Lawson and got a job with Doyle Lawson Quicksilver in April of 1991. Played with Doyle for about a year and a half, and met this lady named Allison Krause, and I played with Allison Krause for about a year and 2 or 3 months, something like that. And then when me and my wife got married, I joined the Isaacs. I was with them for about 13 years and came off the road with them to teach and started playing with the J.D. Crowe in the New South. Played with him for about 2 years. And then the Boxcars, we formed the Boxcars in 2009 and played with them up till last year. And now, of course, I'm doing my own solo ministry. That's the long and the short of it.
What all instruments do you play?
Well, I'm really just a guitar player. Is what I like to say. I dabble with other stuff. I can scratch on the fiddle a little bit, and I play the bass and the mandolin and the banjo. But I'm really just a guitar player.
John, it took me about 4 or 5 years to realized that I could not play a fiddle.
Uh-huh.
But I tried to convince myself I could, but I just couldn't.
Well, I tell you what, the fiddle and I think the dobro is probably the two hardest instruments in the world to play, just because, your right hand has got to hit the right notes, whether it be with the picks on a dobro or the bow with a fiddle, and then your left hand has got to be perfectly on pitch to get it to sound where it sounds like anything but a train wreck. So I can understand, and I definitely feel your pain. I started playing the fiddle when I was about 14, and we used to have this little barbecue. Well, it really wasn't a barbecue pit. It was more like a little trash pit outside my mom and dad's house in Ararat, Virginia. And anytime I get that fiddle out, it didn't matter if it was raining or not. Mom would say, "Honey, you can't play that in the house. You're going to go out there to the pit and play." So, and it seems like over the last 25 years, that's probably where I should have stayed, was out there to the pit.
Every time I tried to play my fiddle out, we had a little Cocker Spaniel dog.
Uh-huh.
She'd howl right loud and take off around the house and
trust me, I know exactly what you mean. I tell you, I can't stand to hear my fiddle playing because I don't play on pitch like I want to. I can hear good pitch, but I can't play it. Guys like Aubrey Haney and Mark O'Connor and Stuart Duncan and Ron Stewart and these guys, Allison Krauss, they just have a sense of pitch like no other person, no other musician has, because like I said, everything has to be perfect on both ends of the spectrum when it comes to fiddle. And anybody that knows me, I'm certainly not perfection in any in any kind of way.
I always thought you did a good job, John.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. I got by.
I remember sitting beside you over at the J.D. Crow Festival, Wilmore, and watching I believe we was watching them Moron Brothers.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I try to stay hid when I'm around where they're doing a live performance. They'll pick on me every time they speak.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, they're good guys. I always enjoyed seeing them and hearing them fellas.
Yeah, we had Lardo on one of our earlier radio shows here in East Case.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they sure are.
Both of them are cards, babe.
They really are.
Sean, we asked Paul Williams when he was on the TV show to tell us a little bit about how he become a Christian and how he become to give out the word. Would you like to share something like that with us?
Oh, I'd love to, Brother Derrick. Appreciate that. I guess my first time where I really felt conviction, you know what I mean when I say conviction, where you felt like that, hey, there's something wrong here. I need something more than what I have. I was probably about 6 years old. My grandfather is a Baptist preacher. He has been now for nearly 60 years. And I remember going to a revival when I was about 6. And I remember him preaching. I remember hearing about Jesus and the cross and how he could save you from your sin. And of course, 6 years old is kind of hard to understand all that, I guess you would say. And it was not until I was about 12 that I really got that feeling back again that, I needed a Savior. I needed to be saved. And I ran from the Lord for such a long time. And when I was about 14, my mom and dad, we started going to the Church of Christ in Cana, Virginia. And Brother Billy Moore is the pastor there, still the pastor today. And he was always good. He knew that I played and sang music. And he was always good about, anytime I come in on Sunday morning, did you bring your guitar, Brother John? And boy, if I didn't, he'd get on to me a little bit,
Right.
And, I'd always pray, Lord, please don't make me get up in front of people and admit that I'm a sinner. I didn't want to do that. But you guys know as well as I do, we can't come to God on our terms. We got to come to God on His terms.
Right.
And one morning I was up there. This was like I said, I've been under conviction for 7 or 8 years. I was 20 years old, and got up one morning to sing in church just like I did every Sunday morning or whenever I brought my guitar, and I was singing a song where no one stands alone. And got to the second verse of that song, and the Lord just broke me down right there on the pulpit. And the prayer that I prayed, that that I didn't want to get up in front of people and admit that I was a sinner. Well, I was already there. God didn't have to pull me up out of my altar, out of the pew to come to the altar. I was already there. So the Lord answered my prayer in a roundabout way. But I knelt down there and just cried my way through to the Lord. And my life has never been the same, Brother Derrick, Brother Dave. God has just changed me in so many ways, and took me from a place where I felt condemned and felt really the weight of the world on my shoulders. I know that's a cliche, but that's really how it felt to me. To a place where I'm free. I feel peace. I feel comfort. I can lay on my head at night and go to sleep and not worry about, what the future holds, because, like my wife says, I know who holds the future. And
Right,
that is
exactly.
Jesus. And so thankful for his goodness and his mercy and for saving me. And Lord knows I ain't been perfect. Never will be. But I'm sure going to try real hard, and I'm going to do everything I can to tell people about how good he's been to me and how good he can be to them.
Great-grandfather was who I was named after, this preacher Dave Maggard. And he preached until he had to stand at the pulpit on 2 walks. And the old saying is, there's not a hole of water in that Cumberland River over there from Eola down to Harlan. But he's not dipped the center in. It's knee deep.
Wow, praise the Lord. That's wonderful.
He is. And you can look him up, Preacher Dave Maggard, on the internet and read all about him.
Well, that is just
but
cool.
He was a great old fella.
Yeah. Well, I'd say he was, if he was dipping people like that out there. So that's good. That's wonderful.
I just hope and pray that I can be half the man that he was.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brother Dave, that's my prayer every day. I look at people who I admire, like my pastor there in East Tennessee, Brother Delma Spruce, and, I look at my dad and people that I've grown up with, and I've prayed that prayer a lot, but, it seems like the Lord has always just said no. You're not going to be like them. I called you to be who you are. And that's what I love about the Lord. He takes what little we have to give, and trust me, when it comes to me, I've got very little, but he takes what little we have to give, and he uses it, and that's what I long for. I long to get in the pulpit and tell people about Jesus and what I've learned about him and how he can help him, and in the same way with my singing and playing, I want to share the gospel with what little talent that he has given me, and that's what I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing. It's took me a long time to get to this place, but I'm here, and whatever he wants me to do, I'm going to do. Wherever he wants me to go, that's where I'll go.
Truly believe that if the Lord has blessed you with talents like songwriting and if you don't put it to use, you're sinning against yourself.
Well, you're certainly not doing what he's called you to do if he's given you a talent.
Absolutely.
Man ought to use it. And I used to say that about fiddle play. Well, I still say that about my fiddle playing. We were talking about it a while ago. People say, well, I enjoy hearing you play the fiddle. Like I said, I'd rather hear 2 cats out here in the yard fighting than I would to hear me play the fiddle. But nonetheless, it is a talent that the Lord has given me, and I try to use it for him. So if it blesses somebody, who am I to argue with that? We'll just keep doing it for him.
There you go. Hey, John, where can folks find you on the World Wide Web and everywhere else?
Well, my main place is my website. It's johnrbowman.net. That's johnrbowman.net. And then, of course, on Facebook is where I do most of my, I don't know if you'd call it business, but it's where most people contact me, like if they want me to preach or come sing, is on Facebook. And that's just my name, John R. Bowman. there at Facebook. So look me up and shoot me an email. I'm glad to give anybody my email address. It's my name, John Bowman, JOHNBOWMAN, the number 10 at bellsouth.net. Shoot me an email. I'd love to come preach for you or sing for you, or shoot me an email. I'd love to just pray for you. So, and I appreciate you having me on the program today, Brother Derrick. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us. We just changed this format of this thing, and you're the very first guest on the new format.
Well, that's cool. I appreciate that.
I have certainly enjoyed talking with you, John, and hope you do this again sometime.
Oh, anytime. You guys let me know, and I'll be glad to talk to you. Derrick, I'm still going to hold you one in fishing days. You know, I know we talked about that before. I hadn't got to go fishing about 2 or 3 years, so we'll have to plan that up.
Definitely. I'm ready. I'm always ready for that. All right, John, we appreciate it, man. Come back sometime.
Hey, we sure will, Derrick. Again, thank you guys, and thanks to everyone listening for supporting me down through the years and supporting my music. I did want to add one thing. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Can I do that?
Sure.
I don't know when this is going to air, but I do have a new single that's coming out, Derrick, and it's called Sweet River. It's on the new CD. They shipped it to radio stations about 2 weeks ago, so people's going to have to call and request it to get them to add it to their playlist, and I believe it's a song that's really going to touch people's lives. It's what I call a revival song, and that's what this country needs right now. So
exactly.
The song's not about me, it's about the Lord, and just have everybody listen for it and request it, and it sure would be a big help to me, and I think it'd be a blessing to them.
Good deal. Well, we definitely appreciate it, John, and that's John R. Bowman on this first segment of the Derrick and Dave radio show. Thanks, John.
Thank you, brothers.
Thanks for listening to the Derrick and Dave Show. To contact the show, email DerrickBeeler@Outlook.com or call 865-719-9915. Have a great day and join us again next time for the Derrick and Dave Show.